All right, everybody. Um, well, I wasn't able to get the update yesterday. I had just woken up, as you can see, and I still have some coffee with me. Generously sponsored by the missus. But one of the weird parts of today, I guess, is Path of Exile's announcement for a new form of currency. And it seems like that not a lot of people are happy about it, which is totally understandable, because what they have here is the Sacred Orb, which will randomize the numeric values of base defenses on an armor. Right? Now that technically means that their new I guess what you might call like an implicit modifier, which is the 0 to 10% base defense and 20% for energy shield, is now re-rollable. Yeah, I guess is what I would call it, re-rollable. But I mean, technically for me, I don't know, I guess from my just woke up point of view as a casual, that doesn't feel like something all that important anyway, because I mean, technically speaking, we will keep running maps, you know, once we start getting a good build running, right? So there will always be this period where we can find that 10% base type, I'm sure. But I don't know, not unless they make the rolling extremely rare, or like, you know, extremely difficult to get a 10% base upon dropping. I guess that won't be that valuable. And besides, I mean, most especially if you're gonna end up playing in Trade League, you can always just buy the base that already has 10%, or you know, the maximum base defense roll placed in it, right? So for me, I don't seem like it is a wise decision. I mean, I don't know, for me it just doesn't feel like it's something that you should, or something that you need. And there's also been some clarification from Chris himself. I mean, his point here was that over time, divine and blessed orbs became more common because, you know, there were more divination cards. There were like other ways as well of getting a divine orb. Although I can only remember like selling tabulas, 6 links, and you know, as other things. And what they've done with the Sacred Orb is that they even made it rarer than an Exalt. There we go. The Sacred Orb is more than 3 times rarer than an Exalted Orb, and is the second rarest currency item after the Mirror. And they said that its purpose is that a near perfect item can eventually be perfected at incredible cost. I don't know, you know, not unless they will have insanely ugly RNG when it comes to having an armor drop with the base defense involved. Oh yeah, I don't know, for me it just doesn't seem great. So I mean, like, I don't know. Here they're just basically explaining why they placed Sacred Orbs New tainted orbs. Oh, wait a minute. So that's what they call that. Tainted currency, I guess. Well, it's like Chris suddenly had a little bit of a Easter egg, didn't he? But yeah, you know, for me, it just doesn't seem right, to be honest. I'm alright with not being able to re-roll it, you know, despite me being a casual and I like crafting, but, you know, I wouldn't mind not having it, or like not having the ability to re-roll the base defense value. You know, that makes other items, or like, that does give you room for, you know, more appropriate trade, because you get to sell a 10% increased defense's astral plate, right? Or a 20% Val Regalia, if you ever see that. You know, it's, for me, I saw it as a trade opportunity. And then to make it even more rare than the Exalted Orb, I mean, that will just make the mirror, you know, one step further away. I mean, I've been playing the game for 7 years and I've never had a mirror drop on me. So introducing this will potentially increase the or will basically increase the likelihood of me never getting a mirror ever. Because it just adds another option to drop in the pool, right? And this can also potentially affect an Exalted Orb, or this can also potentially affect Exalted Orb drops, because sure, yeah, you might say that it is rarer, but it is still one more option. So if you have a Sacred Orb, which you know, I see at this point doesn't feel to be important, like, and then you also include your Instilling and Enkindling orbs, which were added recently, and it just makes the drop pool even wider. So it makes, for me at least, Exalts a little bit more rare, while Mirrors even more rare, you know? So I don't know, it's kind of iffy. But yeah, and then the next part as well, they have announced what will happen to the Atlas of Standard players in 3.16. So it's basically just, you know, telling the people in Standard what's gonna happen. And they will be removing these regions: Turnzen, Proxima, Ejoris, and Vastir. Alright? So, what they also said as well, I mean, I won't go through all of this. I'm just gonna go through the things that are striking me the most. They said that here, magic and unique region-specific watchstones in your possession that belong to the regions that are being removed will be converted to other regions as per following. So this may be an idea that this is what they will do once the regions become 4. I think they may merge these regions appropriately. And, you know, to be honest, I guess I would be happier if they had taken the specific passives of some of these areas. Like, for example, we know Lex Proxima has some harvest passives, right? And we know that Haywork has harvest passives as well. I mean, for me at least, it would be like great to give the Proxima harvest passives to Haywork, because, you know, for me it just makes sense. And to be honest, even if they increase the Atlas passives in the areas to 20 to, you know, appropriately like provide the form of scalability, for me, I actually think it's gonna be more fun, because if you think about it, you'll only need 5 Maven fights to get 10 passives, right? Then that's it. You know, you're just gonna be stuck with that. But now that you're gonna have 4 regions, it's gonna be way easier to get those 5 Maven fights pretty quickly. Or not Maven fights, but, you know, the regional invitations. Wow, sounds like esports. But yeah, I mean, You know, I'd be really happy in seeing the Proxima passives being given to Haywork, and of course the Proxima passives, or oh yeah, since Proxima is going, the Proxima Breach passives being thrown to Lyra, because Lyra has the other set of passives. Like, you know, let's have a look at PoE anyway. It is running in the background. Here we are. So like, oh, not there. So like, you already have these passives, right? You have Probing for Weakness and Flash Breach from Lyra. So I think it would actually be great if you had, you know, the Gatekeepers within their grasp and the Invading Force, along with Flash Breach and Probing for Weakness, because that already will equate to giving, or that will already equate to being 10 passive points. As you can see, you've got the 3 notables and then 2 notables, right? So that's already like one set of content being juiced up amazingly. And then here as well for Turn's End, I mean, you have the Big Game and Great Migration, while for Lyra you have Animal Companion, Mighty Hunter, and Natural Selection. I mean, for me it just makes sense that you bring these passives together so that they can become 10 passives, you know. And for other regions that have 3 of the same content type, like here with Turn's End and Aejoris, I guess you could just merge some of the notables together and then put them in the same region. You know, for me that feels really exciting, right? You can end up focusing on just one region area and then just keep on juicing that particular content. For me, I would actually like to target, you know, specific content. Like for Abysses, I like doing Abysses. That's why I have Buried Riches in Underground Kingdom, and until recently as well, I also had these passives for Vastir, because, you know, I like to have the Abysses spawn a lot on me. So yeah, I actually feel that would be a great way in like juicing up content, you know. But I guess we'll still have to see during the full patch notes. I mean, they are just describing what is gonna happen to your watchstones, like I said. So hopefully, you know, we will see at least some form of planned transferring of passive points, and not just blindly move all of these regional or like these Atlas passives into the regions that they are merging to, because that's just gonna make things more confusing now. Imagine if you have Lex, Proxima, and Glennak. Look, imagine if you have Lex, Proxima, and Glennak together. So you already have Beyond, which, by the way, I think is not found in any other region anyway. And then, of course, you have this very niche pair of passives, which is very nice, though. I still love that. And then you have, out of nowhere, you have Seance, the Harvest passives, the Breach passives, and the Delve passives. So, along with the Beyond Legion, Incursion, and the Strongbox passives, just makes everything much more weird, doesn't it? You know? So yeah, hopefully they will like at least arrange them properly, you know? Because for me, to be honest, that's gonna be a great way of like staying in the game longer, you know, just maxing out a specific area that will give you specific content. Oh, very exciting. So yeah, that has basically been it. I'm sorry if it's taken like a pretty long time, but you know, I just wanted to combine both of these anyway, instead of, you know, just making one big video, or instead of making 2 separate videos. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys, as well in the comments, because, you know, the Sacred Orb for me, like, would have been great if it can just, if you could slam it on an item and it will upgrade all tiers by 1 tier. That sounds good enough to be 3 times rarer than an Exalt, right? not just re-rolling a base value of your defense. But yeah, that's just my take. So thank everybody if you have reached up to this far, and I don't know, I guess I may stream some Minecraft. I don't know why I've gotten hooked to it lately, but yeah, I shall be seeing you all pretty soon, eh?